and welcome to the We Talk Health podcast, the official podcast of West Tennessee Healthcare. I'm your host, Kara Mobley, and on today's episode, I have two guests here, Nadia Graham and Kelsi Williams. They are with the First Five Initiative, through evidence-based home visiting, and we're going to be talking all about that today. Mm-hmm. Welcome, ladies. Thanks for being on here.
Thank you.
Have either of you ever done a podcast before?
Never.
So it's not live, y'all. You know,
no
press, and then also no camera. So we're just hanging out, having a convo. Mm-hmm. So I want to first you guys to introduce yourselves, talk a little bit about what you do here. So Nadia, you're the outreach coordinator. Kind of tell me, kind of what that involves and how long you've had that role.
Yeah, I have been the outreach coordinator here 2-3 years. I've been with the program itself 12 years. I think we just celebrated that the other day. Wow. I know, it's been a while. But basically my job is to get our program information out into the community. I also attend lots of community events. And so talking to organizations, but also talking to the public. I go to schools, tell them about it. So maybe when we have job openings and they're graduating, maybe we can get some staff and recruitment that way. But
right. A little bit of everything. Meeting a little bit of everybody.
Yes.
Okay, Kelsi, so you are a family support specialist. Mm-hmm. Kind of tell me about that job and how long have you been here?
Yeah, so I've been here since October of last year, so I'm still relatively new. I do that evidence-based home visiting. I'm the one who goes out to the home with all of our evidence. And I talk to the moms. I give them support as needed through prenatal, birth, up to age 5. I send them resources and referrals for things like WIC, food stamps, if they need a pediatrician. It's just kind of a very well-rounded way to say that we try to be a little bit of their village.
Sure. So this program, the First Five Initiative, talk about what the First Five Initiative is as a whole and kind of what that means.
Yeah. So within our First Five, we are hospital employees, and the hospital has our several grants. We have 5 grants, but our First Five name is really because we work with the first 5 years.
That worked itself out.
It just happens to work like that at the moment. Mm-hmm. But yes,
Happy coincidence.
deal with the children first 5 years of their life, which is where that name comes in. So really just supporting those families in that really kind of tough time of a lot of changes.
Right, exactly. And do you guys work with kind of the Women's Center, or are you partnered with them in any way? Because I know they do a lot of things as well.
Yeah, we're under the Women's Center.
Okay.
So we're part of them in our
So
own
the
way.
Women's Center does the classes, if anyone wants to take a class. And I guess, if someone came to a class and maybe had a question, they could send them to you guys.
Absolutely, yeah.
So in terms of evidence-based home visiting, I believe it sounds like it's in the name that you visit homes of people. Kind of tell me, why it's like that, or kind of what the benefit of that is.
With us being evidence-based, really that just means we have the specific models that we have to follow. So we use Healthy Families America model, and we also use Parents as Teachers model. So those are they give us curriculum, which is also evidence-based, but really we have expectations on how the model is delivered, the expectations for when we're doing screenings, when we're doing all these things. So really there's just an extra policy and procedure in a way, but to make sure that we're doing the model exactly how they expect it to be done, exactly how they intend it to be done.
Mm-hmm. Right. And also I want to touch on this while I'm thinking about it is for the West Tennessee community, how far do y'all, like the whole of West Tennessee, where do people have to live, or does it matter kind of within this area? Yeah,
for our specific program out of Jackson, we are in 14 of the counties, river to river. We count Hardin in there. So we're in 14 of those, but lucky for everybody out there, we have evidence-based home visiting in all the counties in Tennessee in general. So there's at least 2 programs in every single county. Okay. So if it's not us, if it's not an area that we cover, we can easily refer to one of the other ones.
Sure. And so kind of, Kelsi, what would be maybe a day in the life of a family support specialist?
So I am under Healthy Families America. So we do the curriculum called Growing Great Kids, which basically goes through milestones, which is kind of, we do assessments like ASQs like you would do in your pediatrician's office, but we do it there and make sure they're doing the things that the milestones are winning. I serve Henderson County. And so I spend a lot of time in Lexington.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's Lexington, right?
Which is great. I also serve Madison County. I have one mom here now So I come back.
Just all over.
Yeah. So it's a lot of travel time. I'm also a mom of 2. And so
great.
I do think that has served me well in this role. And I also was familiar with the things like the screenings and a lot of what the curriculum has suggested that you're doing. It was something I was looking at as a first-time mom.
Right, yeah.
And Googling extensively where my pediatrician would yell at me. So I think, and I use that line with some of the moms I serve. Now you don't have to Google it. We can go over it in the curriculum. And it's all just simple things like learning your baby's cues when they want to eat, when they're tired, learning how to play with your baby, learning how to play with your toddler, discipline techniques. Some of that is growing great families, which it comes into stress modules like how do we handle stress and communicate effectively? Are we?
Because that's a part of everyone's life. I mean, you're never going to not have that.
Yes.
And having the tools ahead of time, knowing that there are going to be tough times and having that maybe plan or just understanding and education.
Yes. So yeah, it's a very well-rounded look into how to parent healthfully, Healthy Families America, and how to do it long-term and use techniques now that we learn that will help us into the future.
Right. And so when do you start working with people? How do people come to you or come through the program?
So we can start serving families prenatally.
Okay. I was going to ask if it's, if it can happen, hey, I'm pregnant.
Yes.
I'm interested in this program.
Yes. We can start prenatally, depending on the program, depends on
I guess the person's specific needs.
Right.
It would be maybe is it a consultation based? Like how does it?
So it's kind of based on area for one.
Okay.
Certain counties and certain programs. Also with our Healthy Families America, they are specific on enrollment. So it's prenatally or within 3 months after the child's birth.
Gotcha.
Our Parents as Teachers program is prenatally up until the child is almost 3 years old.
Okay.
So there's kind of a broader range of opportunity to enroll that way. But yeah, people reaching out through, we have a QR code. We also have a referral form on flyers. They're going to community advisory board meetings, health council meetings, all these things. A lot of times word of mouth makes a world of difference.
Right.
If, somebody knows somebody who did it, and then sometimes figuring out the QR code, but calling us. So any kind of way that we will take, we will take somebody.
Yeah, and this is great. I'm glad that we're doing this because this is just another platform that we can get that information out. So in terms of in-home visiting, kind of what is important about that as opposed to, I guess, a person who's working with you guys coming to y'all, this is different because you're coming to them. Kind of tell me a little bit about how that works.
I think that when you first start out, a lot of parents feel like they have to host you. And that is not the case. And I very quickly tell them, no, you do not need to worry about this. I'm here to help you with, these things. If your house is unorganized, let me dig in and help you if you're really struggling. Another thing is we come into a lot of homes and we have to be very mindful of if we see signs on the wall that indicate they like sunflowers or you're just trying to pay attention to the people themselves and kind of learn their home life and what they believe in, their values and their traditions so that you can have cultural humility. You want to always make sure that you're not inserting your beliefs into them. Just because I may disagree with something they do doesn't mean it's wrong. Just means that it's their choice versus mine. And that's a lot of parenting is your choice versus mine. And they're not always, neither are wrong.
Right. And I talk about this a lot on the show with different episodes that we do is that it's tailored to the person, not a one size fits all. So each person that you work with, you're tailoring the program
meet
to
them where they are.
Right.
Yep.
Is there any criteria for enrolling, or it would maybe just kind of be a call and check and see kind of basis?
If somebody is TennCare eligible.
Okay.
So if they're receiving any SNAP benefits, if they do have TennCare, they might not have TennCare, but still have SNAP benefits, they are welcome to come.
Now, in terms of your jobs through this program, maybe kind of tell me, but this is for both of you, kind of what led you to this, or once you got involved in it, what has it meant to you personally, I guess, as a seeing it through from, I guess, start to finish with the people that you work with? Yeah,
I think for me, my undergrad was in psychology. And so I wanted to work with families. I knew I wanted to work with people. And I just didn't finish my master's in counseling. And I realized it's I like people, but I don't like that part of dealing with people.
I looked at the criteria for a master's degree and I was like, I'm not even going to go there.
No. And luckily, we've had opportunities at the office, and the way that we've grown and expanded ourselves, it's given opportunities to try different things. And so I've done all of the jobs leading up to this one almost. And so I've kind of gotten to figure out what I like and my niche and that piece of it, but I still get to work with people. I still get to do that soft, fun side while Not all.
For me, this is basically exactly what I wanted to do with my life that I did not know existed until I applied. So I have a bachelor's in psychology. I wanted to work with kids and I wanted to work with families, and I didn't know what that would look like as I got older and had children of my own. And I was working for the government. I was working for Madison County, liking my job and thinking I really want to be doing something with kids.
Right.
And one of my friends works here as well. Her name is Emily, and she posted a link on her Facebook, and I saw it, and I really had no idea what I was applying for. She did her very best to describe it. I still, okay, let's give it a shot. And then I started getting into it, and I thought, I'm here. This is where I belong. Yeah. So I kind of fell into it on accident, and it's exactly what I wanted.
Great. Yeah. And so I know, Nadia, you had been telling me that you guys are, not only are you, there's room for people to enroll in the program itself, but then we also, through West Tennessee Healthcare, we have openings.
Yes.
For, is it family support specialist? Is that?
Yes, or parent educator, depending on the program.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and that is across West Tennessee. I guess at any given time, it could be a different county, but
It could be.
We do have some of those jobs available online. And again, I will put that in the show notes, a link to those specific jobs, so people can kind of just take a look at the job descriptions. Kelsi, would you give anybody any advice for if someone's interested in this particular role? What that means.
Be prepared to be flexible.
Right.
Yes. Because
so if you don't want to sit in a 9 to 5 at a desk all day, you get antsy. This is
it's perfect. Yeah. You're out in the world. Yes. And you're out in the world. So, pack a parka in the winter and pack your raincoat. It's a lot of driving, but it's so worth it. And the flexibility that is awarded is not matched. And just the support I get from everyone above and beside me. It's called the parallel process. They really we help the moms, our supervisors help us, and they really do. And they mean it when they say that they're going to work with us and they want us to be happy here too.
Great.
And they prove it.
So since October, when you started, has there been a situation where you had a moment where you're like, wow, this is amazing, or any kind of through working with someone has any situation kind of given you any boost of encouragement in the job that you're in?
Being asked to be on this podcast was a big one right there. Yes. I felt so flattered. And then also just today I met a new family, brand new enrolled, with a little 2-week-old baby, and they told me I was so encouraging, and they told me I was so bubbly and nice and so fun to be around. I was like, oh, so I love it. Thank you. I need to hear that.
And I mean, I'm assuming it's maybe not all sunshine and roses, but I feel like the roller coaster of what it's like is probably.
Well, and you want to always show them.
You have to be able to be aware of that, but also.
And you want to stay positive. So if something is hard on you, you talk to your supervisor about it later. You always support, even when you're frustrated, and then you pull back, and then you can cry to your supervisor.
Yeah. And I mean, you're there as a support for these families to hopefully help them with any of the problems that they may have, or
everything. Right. Especially if the mom is an open book, they tell you everything, and I
like
prefer it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a kind of a counseling kind of thing, and you both have kind of that background. So, would you need to have a certification in anything specific for these particular roles?
I am not a counselor. I've had to say that multiple times, but it is very comparable to the type of relationship. The one thing I say that I can give them is I will give you my personal experience and feedback, and normally counselors don't do that.
Right? Yeah, I was gonna
say,
let
you come around to your own things.
As a counselor, you'd be like.
I'm still getting that, and I always preface it with, I'm no expert, this is what happened in my life.
Right, always preface with that, just like, this is just my experience.
Yeah.
So, with this program, do you guys also work with the pathways? Because I know I've done a podcast with the parent-child interaction therapy people, so I didn't know if you guys worked with them at all as well, or like if it was like if you see a need. This is also a program that we have.
Yes, that's what it is.
Where it all kind of connects with each other.
Works together. Or, if we see something that they need a little bit more support, here's an option for them. So same thing with the therapy or the counseling piece of it of like, we can talk through it, we can support and that kind of thing, but there's a point of our scope of practice.
Exactly.
Right.
So here's a referral.
You have that referral and you have that knowledge of additional resources to help people.
A whole ton of resources.
Right. And I'm so glad we got to do this podcast because I did not know about this program at all. Like I hadn't heard about it. So I'm glad that this is something that we can just do a better job of getting that out there, getting more information, more resources out to people. you guys have a Facebook page. I will be sharing that on our show notes as well. I know you posted the job openings for some of those positions. You said they were open, but I mean, any of y'all's events or anything that y'all go to, I believe you also share those on there as well.
Yes.
So I mean, people can have an idea of what's going on and get some more info. And again, I'll share that phone number to call.
One thing I kind of want to add is I had one mom say today, I didn't even think I was eligible for this, and I didn't think that I don't feel like we even deserve this. And I just want to say that any mom honestly needs to find a village. And so the ones who are SNAP benefit eligible, like, we're here to serve you and to help you. And don't be afraid to reach out and let us.
Okay. Yeah. And could you guys be the ones, like, if they reached out to you, you could kind of help them with how they can find out if they're eligible or not? I'm assuming that's something that you guys could do as well. So this is definitely a service that is available to West Tennesseans, that this is definitely something we want to get out there and let people take advantage of this great program. Or these great programs, multiple programs.
Multiple programs.
And just helping our kids and helping the families.
Yep.
It's very great. All right, guys.
We're here to do it. Thank you so much.
Loved getting to talk to you guys and learn more about this. And hey, if there's anything coming up, we'll definitely have y'all back and want to learn and get to, you guys you seem like a great bunch.
We
try.
Yeah, I was going to say. And that's such a great resource to have. And then, the personality is just of helping people. I think that's really great.
Yep.
All right, ladies, this has been great, and it was great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to We Talk Health. This podcast is not intended to replace any medical advice. Nothing said in this podcast is intended to supersede or supplement the direction of your medical caretakers. If you have any questions or would like to request a topic, you can reach out to us at wetalkhealthpodcast@gmail.com.